Well, hello friends. So glad that you've joined me. I've got just a short story for this Christmas season. And I hope you'll be encouraged by it. Maybe challenged just a little bit. You've heard the expression before, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Well, I want to tell you, my parents, this story comes from their early ministry to where maybe no one even knew who they were. They were appointed to several small churches early in the ministry. This particular place was a place called Grafton, West Virginia. Very small church, a very small congregation. They were faced with a lot of challenges. Financial, people, building, you name it, they had challenges there. But as they went there, they were trying to, as their youthfulness, mom and dad, they were trying to give it all they could muster. They were trying to put their best foot forward. They always did. But in those early days, when you're young, you really have a lot of gusto, and they went at it. Well, how in the world were they going to do it? How were they going to interact with people? How were they going to get people to come alongside of them? How were they going to get them to partner? How were they going to get them to come to church? No one knew them in that area. They really didn't. They had no relatives, no contacts, nobody. They were new pastors, all of this thing. So it was like a little light bulb came on for my mom. And I believe the Lord tapped her on the shoulder and told her something to do. And here was the little something that she did. She went into the local news, got the local newspaper, and as people there would be people, of course, in any paper, the obituary column, people who had someone in their family pass from earth. She would send a condolence card from the Salvation Army, the church there, and something, tell maybe if they could be of help, or if they would like to visit or contact or come to church, any of that type of thing. Here was the place, here was the number, and they could do that. Well, she did that for numerous people in that town as they would come about. It wasn't a flood all at one time, but over the course of time she sent out many of those cards. One particular lady, her name was Mildred Kistler. Now she has gone on to be with the Lord. But in those days and times she had a young child who passed away at a very young age. And she received this card from this young pastor. And she said, who in the world would care enough to send me? They don't know me from Adam's aunt. Who in the world is going to send me this card like this? Maybe I'm going to find out who they are. And so she did. And she began actually to attend the Salvation Army Church there in Grafton, West Virginia, many years ago. She continued to attend the Salvation Army there and was a very faithful member throughout the years, and became a very good friend of my mom. We in the pastorate don't get to stay at a church very long, but even though that pastorate changed, my mom continued that friendship through this lady she had met through a condolence card. In fact, so much so that any time that she passed through central West Virginia and was going to visit some people and maybe stay overnight, she would stay at Mildred's home. Now that is really something. Can you imagine that? From a simple condolence card. That's not what she set out to do, just to meet a few people, maybe somebody come to church, and gained a lifelong friend. She had another son who became the sheriff. Isn't that amazing? My mother said, a wonderful fella. And these connections are made when we do something. When we come outside of our comfort zone. There's a new term these days. It's not a very nice term. It's called Karen. It talks about a man or a woman who is self-absorbed within themselves. And those people, I wish to tell you, not only that's a terrible trait, but they are the most miserable people that you'll ever meet on the inside. So my friends, I want to challenge you today. That example my mother set many years ago, to reach out to someone. They're in a little bit of trouble somewhere, somehow, sometime, and you are going to come across their path, and you have the opportunity to reach out to them. And on the flip side, if you are experiencing a little bit of a challenge and someone reaches out to you, don't push that away. Don't push it away. It could be the greatest thing that you have ever experienced. It may be the greatest friendship that you have never had yet, but it just may be occurring. So let God move. Let God move through people. I'm going to close with this little chorus of a song. I won't do the whole song. I was playing it at the beginning, and it talks about someone caring. I'll just close with this. Someone cares. Someone cares. Someone hears your deepest need, your burden shares. Someone cares. Someone cares. God Himself will hear the whisper of your prayer. And He does, my friend. He hears those whispers from deep within your heart. And I just encourage you today to not only reach out, but be reachable your own self, and show some care and take some in. God bless you, one and all, this Christmas season.